Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. This is part of the CPL editions, the story so far. If you listen to our last episode, I spoke about the fact that CCP, this CPL season, won't be watching all the games. We won't be covering all the games. We certainly won't be recording daily or anything like that. But what we will do, as we kind of promised and alluded to, is we will check in. Of course, we'll watch the highlights of each game. Of course, we'll keep abreast of what's going on. And then we'll just check in from time to time to kind of give our opinions on what we've seen so far. So this is very much the story so far. In terms of, well, story so far, there's only been 2 games, but the story so far nonetheless, because we haven't reflected on anything as of yet. And what I kind of want to do in these type of episodes around CPL is I only want to pick out 5 things. I don't want to do, I won't do 25 minutes, I won't do half an hour, I won't do more. It'll always be quick, short, sharp, CCP version of that, and to the point in terms of, this is what I've seen, this is what I've learned. So no long thing. Obviously, during the course of this video, you can see the ticker tape below. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You done know already how CCP do. Plenty of imitators, but nobody does it like we do. So, 2 games so far. Antigua and Barbuda Falcons, formerly known as Jamaica Tallawahs, have played 2 games in Antigua at the Sir Viv ground, and they've lost both. The first one, they lost to St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. Second one, they lost last night or earlier this morning at the time of recording to the Guyana Amazon Warriors, who, of course, are the defending champions. And across those 2 games, these are the 5 things that I've just picked out. I wrote some notes down about this. The first thing that I've picked out, should I actually write this? Do you know what? Let me try and be a tad professional. Here we go. So the first thing I've noticed is the crowds. That's the first talking point. I was a bit skeptical around the notion and idea of move the Jamaica franchise. Who cares? Tallawahs haven't played in Jamaica since 2019, so no one cares anyway. So it is what it is, right? So move the Jamaica Tallawahs franchise, shut it down. Great. When they moved it to Antigua, I was like, I wonder how much the Antiguans are going to get behind this team. Historically and traditionally, that Sir Viv ground, the games aren't well attended there. Obviously, when England turn up, it is. But it's not well attended at Sir Viv. It's not in the heart of Antigua. It's a ways away to get there. So I was always skeptical about, but will the Antiguans turn up? And game 1, maybe it was the camera views, maybe most of the camera angles were in the crowd itself. So when it was facing out to a particular side of the ground, you didn't see many people. You didn't see many on the grass mound. This is game 1 I'm talking about. And you didn't see many in the stands, right? However, the same cannot be said for game 2 against the Amazon Warriors. Obviously, there was a lot of Guyanese there as well, understandably so. But in that second game, it looked like the crowd filled out more as the game went on. Yes, it was a Friday, obviously, which makes it a lot easier to attend because it's pretty much the weekend. But it showed me that, okay, the Antiguans may well turn up for their franchise when they get some home games. We wait to see if that remains to be the case for the rest of the games in Antigua. But I just thought that was a bit of a talking point there in terms of the crowds in Antigua and whether they will engage with CPL. We don't need to question Trinidad and Tobago. We done know already that's going to be sold out. We done know already the Guyanese are going to sell theirs out. So I'm just watching the other places, Antigua, St. Lucia, St. Kitts tonight, and obviously Barbados when it gets there, just to see how engaged are. And have I said all the teams? I'm missing someone. St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Antigua Barbuda. Oh, yeah. So I just want to see how engaged everybody else is going to be when he gets there. Obviously, if you've got thoughts on this, get in the comments below. Let me know. Point number 2, Kofi James. Now, if you watched the first video where I kind of did a preview of the tournament and that first game really between Antigua and St. Kitts, I would go back and watch it because I'm not just saying this. I said in that video I had lots of stocks in Kofi James about 2 years ago, and I thought that he had fallen off a bit. I thought that he hadn't maintained the standards that had been worthy of why I had put stocks in him. I still got a few stocks in Kofi James, which is why he's a talking point of mine. This is not a reaction to Kofi's innings last night. What did he get again? So in the first game against St. Kitts, Kofi hit 22 of 24. Did he bowl? He bowled 1 over for 10. And then against Amazon Warriors last night, Kofi batted 3 again, scored 37 of 24 this time, and he did not bowl for the Falcons. And Kofi James, I guess, is somebody who I'm encouraging. If you don't know much about West Indies cricket, or you're somebody who talks a lot, but you don't really know anything about West Indies cricket, and when I say cricket, I don't mean the West Indies senior sides at the international level. I'm talking about the real cricket, right, at the core. If you don't really know much, I encourage you to continue watching Kofi James, off spinning all rounder. And the key thing, and I do wonder if it's because Kofi's now playing for his home franchise, right? The important thing is they've let Kofi bat in the top 5. If you are going to invest in Caribbean players, you have to give them prominent roles. You can't be doing what some of these teams like to do to Caribbean players, which is you make them bat 8 so they don't get a bat, and then they don't bowl, or they might bowl a 1 over. So what's the role you're really giving them? How is that helping their development? I want to remind people that all I care about when I'm watching CPL is how is it benefiting West Indian players. I don't care what any overseas player did. I'm not pre-ing that. I'm not studying that because that don't help me and that don't help West Indies cricket. All I care about is how is it helping our cricket. So players like Kofi James, big up Antigua for actually letting him bat in the top 5 and more importantly making him bat first drop to give him a prominent role to make him. You learn more when there is more expected from you. So big up Kofi James. Happy to see that. Some of the other youth men that have got a try, obviously Joel Andrew sparkled in that first game. Done know already. CCP been talking about Joel Andrew for about 18 months to 2 years. So that's nothing new to us. But big up the youth man all the same. Good to see that Antigua, he hasn't fired, but good to see that Antigua have let Teddy Bishop open. Obviously, he's got, a 1 and a 9, I think, so far. He hasn't come off, but I respect the fact that they're at least giving him a role. And they're saying, again, like the Kofi James thing, they're saying, okay, you're going to open. We're going to see how you can go at the top of the order. So well done for investing in the youth man. Yes, it's about winning, blah, blah, blah. But again, I'm here for development purposes. Am I missing any other youth man performances? I might come to that. My third talking point is, let me write this one in. See, I didn't prep beforehand, people. This might go over the 15 minutes because I didn't even bother to prep. My next one, tense thrillers. What are the odds, eh? What are the odds? First 2 games of CPL going down to the final ball. What are the odds, eh? That's all I'll say on that. That's all I'll say. Do you know what, though? No, let me say a bit more. It's great for the tournament. In terms of if there has been any kind of scrutiny about the tournament and its excitement levels or lack thereof, you can't get any more investment from fans than having a couple of last ball thrillers to really get the tournament underway. What are the odds, eh? But that's been exciting. That's been exciting to see, and that's what T20 cricket is all about. So great that we've seen some tense thrillers. My next point. So I told you lot, this is probably the quickest you lot have ever seen me do videos because I'm not on no lay long thing for these ones. Consistency. Be careful. Be careful when you put your stocks in players. Let's just talk about West Indian players. Let's just talk about this region, because We could talk about overseas players, but let's focus on West Indies. Be careful about trumpeting and hyping West Indian players, and understand what I'm trying to say here. I'm not saying don't do it because they're not good. That's not the point I'm making. But what I am saying is, when you're going to lift these players up to the sky, let's ask for consistency and not get hyped off of one performance. Okay? Now, someone could easily say to me, oh, Mash, you hypocrite. You've been hyping Jewel Andrew from what day? True. But Jewel Andrew is an exceptional potential generational talent. So I have put all my stocks in Jewel Andrew. And he's a Ute man. He's a Ute man. So even though I've put my stocks in Jewel Andrew, I'm recognizing the fact that at 17 years old, 18 years old, he's a Ute man. He'll have plenty of dips and plenty of rises. So the consistency argument doesn't really apply to someone like Jewel because he's still studying his books and he's still a Ute. Okay? When I'm talking about consistency, I'm talking about the plus 25 guys or the plus 25 guys, right? And what I mean by that is there will be a desire from some West Indies fans to see a West Indian player perform and say, yes, he's come of age and he's the next one and he's great, and pump up your chest and you see. But let's not try and do it after one performance, because what we should be doing for these older players is demanding consistency. I'm not gonna pump up my chest. Like, so I started my second point was Kofi James. I have stocks in Kofi James. But remember, when I mentioned Kofi James in the last video, I said he's fallen off. So I haven't pumped up my chest to Kofi James too tough, because I've recognized that he's fallen off, but I still got a few stocks in him, right? Please, let's not try in CPL to see one degga performance from someone and then go, yep, they're the real deal. This is it. West Indies, this is the guy. Bring him into West Indies team. Let's ask for consistency of performance, because consistency tends to be a West Indian player's kryptonite. So let's ask for consistency of performance. And you see, if we see consistency throughout the tournament, then let's really pump up our chests. We can, and I'm talking about the plus 25 guys. The Ute men, by all means, pick up your chest if you see an exciting Ute man perform, but recognize even in doing that, but he's a Ute man, so he's going to have natural dips. But the plus 25 guys, who should be the guys knocking on the door for West Indies selection, let's not promote them proper till we see some consistency. So some of you will be like, Mash, what are you talking about? Let me give you a player, for example, Shamar Springer, okay? And I like Shamar Springer. I think Shamar Springer will probably be, if he continues on his development trajectory, he will probably be the heir apparent to Jason Holder if Shamar wants it bad enough, right? But hear me out, right? So in that first game against St. Kitts, Shamar Springer, where is he? He didn't bat. He took 4 wickets for 29, 4 overs, no maidens, 4 for 29 in that first game. Plenty of people pumping up their chest about Shamar Springer. Next game now, Shamar Springer, 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 42, and got a bit of pump in the next game against Guyana. And this is what I'm talking about. We could easily have got super excited about what Shamar did in the first game and go, you see, T20 call-up time. Next game, Guyana put him under the pump. Okay, so I think he might have even dropped one, but the point is that's not to denigrate his talent and his potential, but easy now, man. Let's ask for some consistency before we truly pump up our chests over the plus 25 guys. And then my last point that I want to talk about, I don't even know what I want to call this one. What term should I use for this? What term should I? Okay, this is the term I'm going to use for this. The international players. And by that, I mean the West Indian international players. So far across the 2 games, we've seen players like Carl Mayers. I think he was player of the match in the first game. Last night, Romario Shepherd, Gudakesh Multi, they all performed, right? I think Shea Hope hit a 40-something off 30 odd, etc. Going back to that first game, just picking out some people. Yeah, so you kind of get the idea. Fabian Allen yesterday bowled 4 overs, 1 for 27, economy of 6.7. So he was pretty economical, right? I guess so. The point I'm trying to make here is we should be expecting, and this is the same for red ball cricket. This is the same for Super 50. Nothing changes for T20. If you are a West Indian international player, current West Indian international player, and you're generally speaking in our top squad of 15, 16, like all those players are who I just mentioned, you're supposed to come to CPL and you're supposed to beat up on the opposition. You're supposed to lick down sixes. You're supposed to take wickets. You're supposed to take 3-fers, 2-fers, be economical and dominate. So it's been good to see players like Mayers, Romario, Gudakesh, Fabian Allen, etc. come to what for me is under international level at CPL, slightly under, and just dominate the cricket. Okay, so but you won't hear me pumping up my chest too tough about them dominating the cricket at a CPL level, because check this, that's my bare minimum expectation if you are a West Indies international. So that's my 5 things that I've learned so far from the opening 2 games of CPL. Don't know the next time I'll check in. Might be the Monday night call-in show. I don't know. But keep your eyes tuned as ever. Like, share, subscribe. Caribbean Cricket Podcast. We got plenty of imitators. Nobody does it like us. You done know already how the thing's set. Follow Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I'll see you very soon.
We rule the cricket world. Now the rules seem coming.
Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans.